8:17, good morning on this Thursday. It is the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle, but right now it's the Richard Sherman Show. What?
Yay! I get my own show. Yay.
You got your own
Thank you.
show?
Well,
What happened?
I get listing. That's fun. Thank you for thank you for having me in. Thank you for letting me on. I appreciate it.
Richard Sherman from Alta Realty. What are we gonna talk about today? And when I say we, I mean you.
Yeah, as my wife does like to say, I can suck the air out of any room. Well, I thought I'd come by today and we talk a little bit about something called the Resale Renovation Program, which we've been getting a lot of use out of lately with the jump in housing prices. The nicer the house is, the more of a premium it sells for, even in a premium market. And inventories have gotten a little bit better, but they're still, unfortunately the Delta variant came out and that slowed everything down again. We were starting to get back to that. And that slowed it. But anyway, what we do is the Resale Renovation Program, we actually spend money on our clients' houses to get them ready for sale, and we find it makes a huge difference. We find that on average we'll spend 1 to 2% of the projected sales price fixing up a house, and it'll sell for about 10% more. These days we're averaging about 12% because the market's a little more. I mean, for example, we just did one in Canyon Country where the house didn't have a backyard. It was just dirt and weeds and dog mess all over the place. And for about $3,500, we put in a yard, and the house sold for, like $50,000 more than we projected. Now, part of that was the market.
Wait. No, we can't. We're not skipping over that. Did you say $50,000
more?
more?
We figured it'd sell for $550,000. It sold for $600,000.
Whoa.
And I don't think somebody came in and said, "Oh, this has a backyard now. I'll give you $50,000 more." It wasn't quite that simple. There's more we did to the house, but I think we painted the inside, did some stuff with the kitchen too. But houses in the best shape sell for the most amount of money, the fastest. And in a market that's demanding premiums, that sort of thing goes for even more of a premium. So it's just a matter of knowing where to spend the money wisely in order to help the clients out. And the clients love it because it's not their money. We spend the money. You don't pay us back.
If someone is doing this on their own, though, someone's fixing up their house on their own to sell it, what would you advise them to spend the money on? What is the top of the top list?
I would advise them to call me and let them spend my money.
Oh.
That is what I would say. And no one argues with me about that. They say, "Rich, that is a great theory." But it's not all just up to us. It's up to the homeowner, too, I always talked about. Usually the biggest things are what's wrong. That's always the first thing.
Okay.
What are the deficiencies in the house? And most people have a laundry list of stuff that most are small. That cabinet door never closed right, or I really always hated the color of these kitchen cabinets. That kind of thing. But sometimes they're big and obvious. Like this one, did not have a backyard. It had a larger yard than its neighbors. It was a good shape for that, good location, and the backyard was just a mess. And it wasn't very hard to fix, and that wasn't hard to diagnose.
What did you do? You put down sod? What did you do?
Yeah, well, we cleaned up, had the whole backyard cleaned up, had the trees trimmed, had sprinklers put in, sod put down, planting all around. We made it nice. We made it into a nice yard, the sort of thing that you see in model homes and that stuff. And it's not terribly expensive.
You're like the Property Brothers.
Yeah. Not as good looking or as interested in being in the press. But yeah. We paint houses and stuff like that all the time. I trim stuff like that. If there's one thing you're going to spend the money on beyond sort of what is the deficiency, if you're asking me what garners the largest premium as far as bang for the buck, it's going to be kitchen. Kitchen baths. That's always what it is because God bless the Home Depots of the world and the guys out there like that. They've made the remodeling culture really a big deal. I mean, you're not really expected to have a kitchen more than 15 years, 10 years, that kind of thing in a suburban neighborhood, which I think is nuts. But because I've had my kitchen for a long time, so maybe that's why. So, I mean, if you're listening, I can hear you in the back. I know we need to do it. I get a lot of, that's nice that you did at their house and sold a product. That's really great. What do we do in our kitchen? So I get a lot of that. When we go to sell our house.
I think I'd like your wife. One of these days,
Everybody likes my wife.
I think you got to bring her in one of these days.
I tell people all the time when I'm trying to describe her. George Burns used to say of Gracie Allen that she was his human credentials. The theory being that he can't be that bad. I mean, she loves him, and she's great.
Exactly.
And that's my wife. She's my human credentials. Everybody likes my wife. It's always the same thing, even though we've been together for almost 30 years now. And I would say happily. You'd have to ask her, I suppose. I hope she'd say the same. But it's always the same thing. Even people who've known us for 20 years always still look at me like, really? How did you do that? Does she not know she can do better? And I think it's a combination of Irish stubbornness and a refusal to admit she made a mistake. Those are the bedrocks our relationship is based on. Works for us. That and I keep all the good. I'm taller than she is, so all the good stuff in our house is I keep on taller shelves that I have to get.
Always helpful. Always helpful.
I like to prove my utility. But no, anyway. So I'm sorry. Back to business. My wife works in the office too. She's a real estate attorney. She's in our office too. Hopefully you don't need her for anything, but if you do, she's there. And we do that for clients as well.
And she's an attorney.
And she's a real estate attorney. Yeah, she's smarter than me too. She's better looking and she's smarter than me. I know it's.
You did good.
Surprising. I'm shocked.
You did good.
I too am shocked. But anyway, what we do to the Resale Renovation Program, what we do is we come in. And with working with the seller, we don't do this on our own, obviously. We say, okay, your house is going to sell for $600,000. That gives us, about $6,000 or $7,000 to kind of play with here, depending on what we want to do. What do you want to do with your house? What do you think it needs? And they'll tell us, and usually they're right. I mean, it's pretty rare that homeowners are wrong. Occasionally, somebody will say, I always wanted to paint that room bright purple. No, that's not a good idea. That's not. See these pictures of these other ones that just sold recently? None of them are purple for a reason. That would be a very unique buyer. But no, usually it's carpet, it's paint, it's trim, it's backyards, it's cleaning up a pool, it's that kind of stuff. I mean, we did one recently where they figured they were going to have to redo an entire pool for about $6,000 or $7,000, and we got it clean for I think for about $1,000. They cleaned the whole thing, replaced some tile. It looks brand new. It's gorgeous. Before and after pictures are always the most dramatic, but again, that's our money. You don't pay it back. We put the money into the listing because we are selling the listing, and we're being paid to do it. I mean, it's still a for-profit entity. But, there's no reason that you have to make as much per deal if you're doing more deals. And that's just kind of how we run the business, how I run my business, and have for many years. The more you give, the more you get is not a revolutionary business concept. It's just seems rare because so few people function that way, especially these days. And the pandemic has really, I think, further polarized people and further brought out kind of personalities. I find that people who want to help tend to be helping more, and the people who are kind of on their own are kind of even more isolated. And that's okay, too. I mean, that's the way you want to live your life, not how I choose to do it. And in my case, I've done fairly well because my business model is to give back. So what we do is we come into a house, a situation where maybe they need a backyard and they didn't have the money to do it, and they thought they were going to sell their house for less because they know they need a yard, or maybe they thought they'd give the buyer a credit. We'll step in, we'll get the work done, in conjunction with the owner, so they know what's going on too. We just don't want to do this without them, of course. We'll pay for it, and you don't pay us back. So what could be better than that? Your house is going to sell for more money. I'll make more in commission, so I'm happy about that. You'll make a lot more as a seller, which you should be really happy about. And it didn't cost you anything. It's just done.
It sounds like a win-win.
So, yeah, works for me.
Sounds like a win-win.
Works for me.
If someone's driving around now and says, yeah, I want to sell the house, but I need a little help. This needs to be fixed up. I too
always.
Don't have a backyard. I need Richard Szerman. I need phone number, website. Where do you want people to reach
give
him?
me a call, 661-714-1400. I know I get a lot of flack for this because that is my actual personal cell phone number, and I know giving it out on the air can be problematic.
Who gives you a hard time?
I do get the
lawyer?
occasional. Well, no, yeah, my wife's not crazy about it. I do get the occasional kind of nutty call, but they're fairly harmless and they're funny. And I just think it's, hey, you heard me on the radio, thank you. I mean, that's kind of the way I take it. So, to me, if you want to be a nutty caller and you want to talk to me about conspiracy theories, I am not the best audience for that. But if that's what you want to do, sure. As long as you just say you heard me on the radio, I'll listen.
Awesome. Let's get the number.
But yeah, my number is 661-714. So if you're a shut-in, 661-714-140. Hopefully, who wants to buy or sell real estate or has a problem with your mortgage? 661-714-1400. Give the number one more time. 661-714-1400. And I'm Rich Szerman with Alta Realty. And you can call me anytime, or if I don't answer, text me. You can call or text 661-714-1400, and you'll get a hold of me. I'll call you back quickly.
What's the website?
Actually, just get me through the station. You can richsherman.com, but honestly, I don't really use it a whole heck of a lot. I have a staff that watches that. I mean, you can certainly get me through the website. I have a very unique last name. It's spelled Szerman. There's no H in it, even though it's pronounced Sherman, something at Russian Polish ancestry, they tell me. But I'm pretty easy to find. Or you just type in guy who gives money to people to sell their houses. That'll probably bring me up.
Google.
Guy who does free foreclosure defense, or guy who gives you money to buy a house. And
I love it.
I'll show up with all of those. So.
I love it. Richard Szerman, always a pleasure, always entertaining. Next time, bring the wife. We have questions.
Trying.
We have questions for her. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, too.
Excellence isn't just